She wanted to. Oh, System of a Down. First of all, let's go with the introductions again. Yours truly. My name is Alex.
Kansi.
Con.
He just nudged me.
Today we watched a movie picked at the random, Mr. Vampire 1.
Out of the very large collection that is Nikanti's Kung Fu film collection, we simply scrolled through it once, and then on the way back up, Alex was like, wait, that one over there?
Over
Mr. Vampire?
Yes.
And we were like, we just made eye contact, and we're like, okay.
I guess.
That was the decision. Unanimously.
Little did we know that what we were in store for was some amazingness, hilarious, fantastic action, kung fu action. So
Action, comedy, horror, kung fu, other 3 words to
describe
and label it as a genre. But
yes. Wait, what was the actual genre?
It was like supernatural kung fu comedy.
Amazing. Did anybody else know that genre existed? Because I sure didn't.
I feel like they just tagged like kind of everything together, but at the same time, kung fu comedy is not,
Not
Not
uncommon.
yeah.
No. They just
Um,
added some supernaturality to it.
And it was goofy. Like, this isn't like fantasy, this is supernatural, which is only 3 steps away, because this movie was incredibly zany, incredibly entertaining from start to finish.
Fuck yes. I agree 100%. So, let's jump into it. So we got our categories. So
Now, this wasn't a typical like kung fu movie.
this is true.
It wasn't really concentrated on the fight scenes, but I mean there were quite a few action scenes.
Definitely. Did we even get to count how many action scenes there were?
No,
I think for this particular fight scene, or not fight scene, but this kung fu movie, I think we could skip those tallies or those categories that we keep track of, because it was such a different type of movie.
I mean, to be fair, there weren't necessarily any training scenes.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
There was pretty well-paced action, but not necessarily actual fighting going on. However, there was definitely a couple of what the fuck moments.
Fuck yes, there was.
And badass moments.
Yes. Okay, so let's at least touch on those two. So, like we said, fight scenes, just an unprecedented number. Like it was constant action and moving, but no training scenes for sure. And then there was... So what was your what the fuck moment? What was your first what the fuck moment?
I think the first time they show pretty much any of the specific special effects, like the first time they show the power of that chicken blood ink string, that was
on the coffin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what? We were all making those noises, and that's the general like, oh, this is a moment. Another one that we all were kind of like, what's going on, was when they were showing cutting the chicken's neck. And that was definitely like,
Fucked with that, man. That looked so real.
and these things that we're talking about, the chicken blood ink and that is from the master needed a recipe to basically stop the zombies or vampires from moving.
Yeah, so
to control them.
He like, yeah, for sure made up like this concoction. So
another good I'm still trying to like separate what the fuck moments from badass moments.
Yeah.
Right now. That movie was honestly, it was a lot faster than I was expecting. It was really well paced because it was, like I said, start to finish. I was sucked in. I was excited for the whole thing.
Hell yeah.
Let's see. What's another good one?
What about you, Nikansi? Do you have any?
There was only one when it was like, whoa! Oh yeah, when it shows the ghost lady's face.
Okay, yeah.
And it's all like torn up.
Yeah. For me was when the lady's head flew off and her hair all of a sudden just turns into like craziness. Ooh. That was sick.
That was definitely.
That was a what the fuck moment for me.
Shocker. Like,
yeah.
For how old this movie was, you said it was
1992. Was it?
It was really early. I remember Nikansi mentioning that this is kind of like the debut of like
1985.
This was kind of the debut of visual effects for Hong Kong films.
Yeah. No,
and it definitely paid off. It was really, really, really well used. There's definitely a couple of stuff that I guess are just because of how old the movie was, but they still looked great.
Yeah. No, seriously, like the visual effects, you mean, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This movie was so funny. It was just cracking me up. It had really good humor.
Yeah, I seriously enjoyed the humor in this one. For an 80s film, like for sure. Like great 80s comedy in this.
And we were like making these perverted jokes the whole time, and then they were doing the same thing.
They were right there. Yeah. We're like, we don't even need to fucking.
I was like, they're reading our minds.
Oh my God.
I mean, not that our minds are perverted.
When Alex called he thinks she's from the whorehouse. I was like, oh, that's what's going on. And then like suddenly it clicked when I was reading the subtitles because they were still old and janky, but it was like, oh, that's what they mean. And then like 3 seconds later, oh yeah, you mean Li Hung's garden? That's a whorehouse. Like
the subtleties of their scenes were amazing. They were just like the whole time. It was a really long joke too. And then eventually you put it together first, and he's like, they think she's a prostitute.
Yes.
Oh my God. They were definitely set up with like you could tell where the punchline was gonna come, but it was dragged on in a good way.
Yeah.
Where you're just like,
I see where this is going. So many sexual innuendos. It was so great.
Especially again for how old the film is, and in that era of like in
China.
Yeah, in China.
I mean, I don't know how perverted China is, but hey, they were for sure had a level of perversion, and I greatly appreciate it. I'm gonna go into my badass moments. I think the badass moments was anytime they were fighting that the main vampire.
So like the last half hour of the movie.
well, the first fight where they were just really showing how his super strength,
his power level. They were showing you his power level really
9,000. No, but for sure, man. Like they would just like hit him with like spells that were obviously. They did a good job of comparing him to like normal corpses. How their spells would work against the normal corpses, and they would just like kind of like go flying back, and then when they would do it against this main vampire, definitely he would like just bounce back in a heartbeat.
Definitely that entirety of like the first victim, the like chief of police uncle.
Oh yeah,
that entire scene was a really good measure of like, no, this is like a weaker zombie or vampire.
Yeah,
but he's still strong. You gotta respect it. And then when we finally get to like showing off the big bad, it was like, oh, nothing works.
Yeah, it was like such a difference in power. So that was kind of cool when those were my badass moments when it was just kind of, they were throwing everything they had at him and it was just freaking brushing it off its shoulders like nothing. So that was it for me. You Kansei?
My badass moment was seeing the master use these strings that would basically set them on fire.
Oh yeah.
But he set it up, and then his assistant jumped down and grabbed the other one, and they pulled it out to make this huge web around the vampire.
Yes.
That was crazy. That was cool.
So this is one of the reasons I had trouble separating what the fuck moments from badass moments, was the particular scene of that police inspector finally like picking up that big log,
Yes.
and being like, no, I can do it, it's my time to be the hero, and then just full on like
Just missing. Just blowing it.
That was the particular scene in mine that I couldn't decide, is it a badass moment, because it was set up really well.
Yeah.
But the joke is obvious that he's not going to get his badass moment and misses.
No,
and
you
they
don't get to be the
scurry
hero.
outside,
Yeah.
right?
You don't get to be a hero.
Oh, man.
And I agree with your guys' choices, but my second one that you guys actually, I'm surprised, didn't pick was when he straight up like magic mirror summoned the that shiny dagger to deal with the ghost.
Oh yeah, he like
that was
shine the
so,
moonlight.
like, that was so. Again, it's a double of like, what the hell is happening? Because it's so crazy. And
the
then
effects, right?
Yeah, and then it was just like super badass. Like, no, this is basically Excalibur. Shing! Like, it was so good and it was so badass to me. I was like, man, I mean, like, you can't reveal your whole hand, otherwise you know everybody's just gonna know your power level's that high.
Yeah,
But like,
they were definitely
that
like.
I was so excited to be like, wait, he's doing this. He's pulling
out all the stops.
the dagger. Ah!
Yeah, the fight against the ghost, Jade, quote unquote, was pretty sick. So
That was, yeah.
that's it for badass moments on my end. Do you guys have anything else you want to add there?
Not really. Not that I can think of. I'm good.
Cool. Well,
'Cause we covered them all, and
let's jump into the
Plot.
the plot. For me, I'm gonna give it a 9. I'm not ready to give a 10 yet. I
Ooh,
don't.
9's pretty high.
It is high.
9's pretty high.
I don't want to sell it short. It is definitely high for me. So yeah, that's what I want to give it for the plot. What about you, Kansi?
Ooh. I always say, ooh. Because these numbers. This movie was so good.
You're like a black guy who just saw a nice ass. Like, you're so proper.
I'm going to give it an 8.
8 out of 10.
Yes, because I saved the 9s and 10s for my like absolute favorite films. This is definitely a favorite film, though. I will recommend this film to every single person.
And I would rewatch it. That's how good it was.
Me too, for
This
sure.
movie was so funny.
What about you? What would you give the plot, Mr. Junior?
So you guys know I'm a very thinker-orientated man there, and like, I'm gonna give it a 7 because it was a very simple plot, but it was done really well. Like,
Definitely.
it wasn't deep. It wasn't like super complex, but it was just done so well. Like, it was super entertaining throughout the whole thing. Like, if anything, the plot to me was the weakest part, because it's just, oh look, we have to save like the towns. We have to save the towns. Like, we have to figure out this zombie problem.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We've traced it to like one family. Recently had some sort of funeral, and it's like, oh yeah, this guy's been dead for 20 years. Oh no. And then during that, they're still chasing like other zombie problems.
I mean, it was
You know
kind
what
of
I mean?
yeah. It was kind of interesting that was going on in the background. That was kind of the underlying thing that, you know, these people were in the business of transporting and getting rid of corpses.
Spirits and yeah.
Yeah, and what they would do is they would, you know, put a prayer sheet to control them so that they can transport them, and then the moment that thing falls off, all shit breaks loose. So they're just
Right.
kind of teetering on the edge of like fucking chaos and mundanity. So it was really
because they don't treat it like it's some big super like insane thing that needs to be researched. Like
Yeah,
that's
it's just like-
part of what I'm saying.
Just
It's
part of everyday life.
it's not like an insanely deep and complex plot, but it's so good at how like simple it is that it easily drove the movie towards like, no, we're gonna explain all this. Like, this is what's gonna happen. This is what's happening.
Yeah, definitely enjoyed that. Cool. What is the next portion there? Okay, we got acting.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Their acting was perfect.
Yeah,
Especially for what it was. It was campy, it was cheesy, but their acting was. They had some funny scenes where when he's like about to cry, and he's just like.
I definitely enjoyed the character. According to the subtitles, his name was Man.
Yeah, man.
He was probably my favorite actor in all of that. Just when he was doing the dances, when he became the zombie, just everything all around. So I will give. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. It was still really good. Keep in mind, 8s are high for me. So.
I never give perfect scores, so
He does not.
there's no 10s. And if you ever hear a 10 from me, I'm probably drunk or high. And so that's a 9. That is an
9
easy
for you?
9. They definitely, like Nikansi said, were really cheesy, really campy. But you could tell they were all having fun, and they all of their work was done really well.
Yeah, I agree.
And just it's on another level of like, it's hard to see those characters being other actors. Like, they really were.
They owned. Yeah, they
They
sucked
owned-
you into their role, to their characters.
Yeah.
So for sure. Sweet. What do we got next? We have the cinematography. I'm gonna give it an 8 as well. I thought the camera angles, the idea of like, really early on, the idea of someone sneaking up on you, they really did that really like well with the cameras, and of course the visual effects for its time were
They were so good.
they were really good. It was
So
awesome, man. And not only that, and I don't know, this probably doesn't count under, like, if we're really being like technical, I don't think this counts under cinematography, but the makeup, the gore makeup, like the fake wounds.
I mean, we don't have a category for it, so I would feel like it makes sense that you're putting it under cinematography.
Yeah, right. That's like the only logical place for it to go. So I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. Yeah.
Ooh, upped it.
Yeah. Did I say an 8?
Yeah.
I did say an 8.
He said an 8 a second ago.
All right, fuck it. I'm going to 9.
Nope. No balls. No ball.
I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 for cinematography. I really liked the fullness of the shots they use, like in some of the fight scenes. It was really cool because they backed the shot out far enough where you could see the setting. Like, a lot of the shots were screenshot worthy, where you could see everything was filled, everything was colorful, and they had the setting. Then they had one person kicking from above, and then one person hitting from below, and then the middle person getting hit. I was like, it was really cool.
Yeah, you know what? That was done really well, and it was so seamless.
Yeah.
Right? That you just didn't think anything of it because it was so smooth. So I totally agree on that aspect of it. Mr. Gun.
I would also give it a 9.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh. Because just like Akanashi said, it was, every shot was full, but it didn't feel crowded. That was one of the best things, was you really, like, your eyes naturally were going to focus on the actors, but nothing felt out of place.
Yeah.
In the background. And a lot of the times, if they weren't like center camera, they were moving towards center camera, and then the shot would start panning and keep them there.
And so, there was always something. It's not like the scene was just like there's one fight scene going on and that was it. No, there was like multiple times where there was like 2 or 3 different things going on where you got, you know, maybe 3 people fighting, and then you got like, you know, another 2-3 people trying to escape. Right. Like it was just so much going on, but it just really helped with the pacing.
And maybe I didn't pay enough attention to look around for like particular goofs, but as far as the shots that I remember like specifically, because of the way it was shot, you really don't notice if they did extra takes when it came to like the scenery in the background, or at least I didn't, because I mean, really, am I going to be staring at a table that has full of rice that apparently he was dancing on? Like, I'm not going to be counting each grain on that, but generally it looked like he had just left it, and they shot it right there, and maybe they like held for a second and changed the camera angle, because again, they were breaking a lot of stuff. They were like the entire rice scene, just a lot of things felt, like you said, really natural in the background,
right?
And again, like seamless on the transitions, where you're just like it was really easy to follow along and not be nitpicky, like, oh man, that they moved this cup from the left hand side all the way over to the right hand side, 3 people down, like what is that?
Definitely, they were definitely professionals. Musical score, guys. For this, what I'm gonna give it, guys, ready for this one? For this genre, and just for the delightful surprise that this movie was for, I think, all 3 of us, I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10.
Same, I agree.
It was so perfect.
It was perfect. The music added to every single scene. Yes. They were like spot on.
This is where I stay a man to my word and I never give 10s. This is a 9 out of 10.
Ooh.
Basically 10. Because again, every single, like you said, every single scene was really well enhanced by the music.
Yeah.
Like, and I was talking about it earlier. It's like they really did pay attention to which instrumentation they wanted. Like they didn't just
they were very deliberate.
Yeah. They didn't just go with like the stupid sounding like 3-string guitar thing. I always forget what that is. But like it's really easy. No.
Bass?
No. It's an Eastern instrument.
Oh, like, the Chinese lute.
Yeah, those like 3-string, those like 3-string lutes. And the reason I really get like tired of hearing it a lot of the time is because it's just like a 3-string chord, and then like everything that they do on it is still a chord. So it always has the same sound. It's really hard to make it sound interesting or unique.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. It doesn't give different ambiances, and this was all about ambiance.
This was particularly great. Like the little couple of times they had some drums going, it was like, oh, something serious is going on. Really, really deliberately, like you said. But it was also, everything was so light that you knew that it was still being comedy. It was still being fun the whole time.
For sure.
In particular, like their use of the like flute in some of the like more horror-y scenes is because it's a light instrument and it's really eerie, and like even like I keep saying, everything was so bright, but to make it give off that kind of spooky feeling, they have this flute playing at just like way like higher than all the other keys,
and playing in a key that is
and it was that really soft. It wasn't like a harsh flute,
right?
So you still felt like, ooh, spooky shit.
Spooky
shit's gonna go down.
For sure, man. I've like I said, I was all about it. Let's see, action choreography.
This is kind of I'll start it off with, this is kind of a hard thing, because while like the action was definitely fun and it was definitely well used, it wasn't complex.
It wasn't like a like a straight kung fu fighting film.
No.
It was just to help with the comedy.
But it was still well done.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
you can't give it like a super low score.
You
know
That's
what-
why I'm saying.
You know what I really appreciate about it was that there was a lot of like kind of teamwork. There was
That
a
was
lot of
cool.
yeah, there was a lot of two people working towards one goal where there was like one person had a role and the other one was support, and then they would switch back and forth. It was really really cool how he incorporated that. So that because like Jackie, we were just watching a video earlier today that Jackie Chan is like, yeah, like you know, all kung fu movies is, you know what I mean? It's fists and kicks and like he's right. You know what I mean? You kind of have to take the kung fu movie to the next level and go beyond just the fists and the kicks and the form and the techniques. And this movie included all that, but took it a step further for me. So, I'm going to give it a 9. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10.
I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. It was solid action.
I'm
scenes.
also going to give it an 8 because just like you said, like the complexity of it is being able to actually show off 3 people on screen with 2 people doing something and 1 person taking a hit.
Yeah.
It was like I said, it wasn't necessarily anything fancy,
Right.
but it was still well done. It was still really well done. It still had like Nakansi said, it was still very deliberate in like its purpose.
Yeah.
And especially those other scenes where they like start where he jumps off from the balcony to like grab the wires and then they double team the vampires.
There it is.
Like it's not insanely like complex on showing fist work and feet work. But
Yeah,
it's there to get us to this cool scene.
Yeah, it's like it's unorthodox and it's just it's doing simplicity, but you can do something pretty amazing with just simplicity. So I enjoyed it. That leads us to our final category.
Overall, I give it an 8 out of 10. Really good movie.
Yeah.
It's definitely, I can see why people consider it a classic Hong Kong film.
Yes, 100%.
Right.
I'm right there. I'm right behind you. It's almost like a cult classic.
It is a feel good film at the same time.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Yes,
And you have to watch it with like people so you can laugh about it.
for sure. Yeah, so I'm also on board with the 8 out of 10. Com, what do you think?
I'm also on board with 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10, guys.
Everything was done so well, like, and at the end of the day, when you put a piece of art together like that,
Mhm.
and you just look at it, and you're just having a good time. You feel something from it, and in particular here, we're just feeling great. We're having a good laugh, and everything was just done so well. Like it's just enough cheese the whole time. We were like, look at this, like just.
He's
The
getting choked up, guys.
So, yeah, he's tearing too.
Like the zombies jumping, like
What was that?
that's something that I recognize from just from Darkstalkers being a thing, and from other like Chinese zombie sounding things. It's like, oh, it makes sense. Like I recognize the talisman, like I recognize their costume. And then the jumping, I was like, oh wait, yeah, that's a thing too.
The
And it was just
story-
feeling great.
Was actually from an old folk tale.
Really?
Yes, well, just the story of this type of vampire.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I
Easy 8.
yeah.
Easily recommended, and honestly, it's really easy to rewatch. Like maybe not the same night, watch it back to back, but I will go back to this and just watch it and have a good time.
Yeah, definitely a good film to share, and and just to laugh at. So, we do have one more category. We got the overall. Now we're gonna jump into whether the film was badass, or so bad it's good. I'm gonna do something that you guys are not gonna expect me to do.
Keep your clothes on, please.
Whoa!
I'm gonna give it a so bad it's good. So bad it's just amazing.
I can feel it.
It's like a bad 80s film that like is cheesy, it's dumb, but you just appreciate it for those factors. Like the acting is a little over the top in certain places.
But that's what we want from like this comedy kung fu movie.
100% from the 80s.
So,
well, and that's most 80s films for me. Like in my personal opinion, they're so bad they're good. Like fucking what's a good example?
Another kung fu film like Big Trouble in Little China.
No, I was gonna say like 16 Candles or Breakfast Club or like kind of along those lines, you know. So that's my rating.
I don't feel comfortable giving it a badass, so I'd probably go with the so bad it's good,
right?
Because it's just it wasn't super cool. It can't be a badass film, but no. not to me at least. But it was easily one of the most entertaining experiences I've had in a while. It was just fun from the whole, like all the way through the movie. We were just cracking jokes, and we were still being able to pay attention to it too. Was the best part, was being able to laugh at it and still follow along, and then follow into the next joke because we were thinking it was going to be an off-screen joke,
but it's totally like, now, we are taking you in this direction, and this is totally where the joke is ending up. So yeah, what do you think, Mr. Nakanti?
So bad it's good.
Yeah,
but in like the utmost respectful way.
Yeah, right.
So bad it's amazing.
Fuck yes. Cool. Well, I feel good about it, guys. Any closing thoughts that you guys want to put in there?
I want to do a small shout out to Virtual Play Zone. So you know that Smash tournament that I've been working for?
Why, yes,
we have moved from our very tiny garage to a shared space with an indoor paintball area and a gymnastics gym in the back too.
You guys should see this spot. I saw pictures of it. It looks freaking legit. It looks like a dope venue to hold.
There was easily 20 to 30 people, I think, playing paintball.
That's amazing.
And there was like 10 kids, maybe 20 kids playing in the gym. There was a basketball game going because there's a basketball court behind all the other stuff too.
I want to go to this place.
And we had 53 heads in-house for our specific event and 46 entrants into the tournament. So,
dude, that's awesome.
So 53 head count plus probably 30 people, 50 people with the combined gym and indoor paintball area. There was easily like 120 people in-house. Like, it is a huge space. We still have plenty of room. In fact, we didn't even run out of monitors. That was the best feeling, was knowing we had that many monitors for that many systems to set up.
That's cool, man. So for sure, where can people get information about this?
There's a Facebook page for iHeart Gaming that I'm sure Nakansi can put up. And we have changed the address there. If you live in San Diego, it is 1699 Main Street.
There you go. If you guys want to get your game on, cruise over there. Nakansi, do we have a way? Are we going to put up a way that people can get this movie or that they can watch it? That was.
I understood that language.
Can you not speak in links? Can you talk?
Oh, sorry. Hey guys,
don't speak in internet coding.
We will throw it up. The film is actually on YouTube.
Oh,
wow,
sweet.
it's on YouTube for once.
You can just pull it up on YouTube.
Hell yeah. We'll probably, I think we can put the
We'll throw a link on our site too.
yeah, Sumo's very vocal
And then
about it.
if it gets taken down, then shit gets taken down.
But no, for sure you guys can find it on YouTube.
They just released Blu-ray copies of it in Japan.
Hey.
Did they really?
Yeah.
That's insane.
That's awesome. I'm telling you, man, it's got to be like a cult classic.
Don't ask me why I know that information. That's just
He's the click master. He's been clicking away, researching.
He knows many things.
For you listeners, again, you're talking in code.
Oh,
Again,
sorry, dang it again.
This isn't. You're talking in JavaScript. Can you? All right.
Get mixed up.
Semicolon bracket space 1.
All right. Thanks for listening, guys. We will see you guys for the next Kung Fu Friday. Peace.
Oh yeah.
Later.
Quit fucking around.